What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I would like to welcome you all to another edition of Wayne's Perspective, where we operate in discipline, decency, integrity, and respect. And I'm coming through with another video just for you. Before I get started, I hope everyone is doing okay out there, taking every day one day at a time, living life the best way you know how. I hope you had a very good 2025, and I'm wishing you a happy new year as well. As I record this, it is January 2nd, 2026. As for me, my 2025 was pretty good, had my ups, had my downs, but overall it was a decent year. And I'm hoping and praying that 2026 is a much better year across the board. Overall, I'm doing okay as well. Can't complain too much. I'm also taking every day one day at a time and living life the best way I know how as well. And once again, Happy New Year to you. Before we get into today's video, my first one for 2026, I want to highlight a few things. I do plan to do more videos going forward. However, just remember that for a man with a full-time job and taking online classes full-time, balancing my time will always be essential. And I always appreciate you all for whatever support you give. On a political level, going forward, the majority of my videos will be in a reaction form, courtesy of Clay Kane and Reese Colbert, and of course, they will be part of today's video. I continue to do individual videos presenting my thoughts, but expect more reaction videos like this, especially when Clay and Reese are talking about current political events. The hip hop related videos will definitely continue. Expect to see 30-year retrospectives this year, focusing on albums that were released in 1996. Also, I want to mention again that I do have a medium.com page where I do album reviews, and I plan to put more time into that as well. The name of the website is www.medium.com/at WDM625. Again, that's www.medium.com/at WDM625, and I'll put the link to my page in the description box. And if you were to go there right now, the very first review that you're going to see at the top is a review that I did on the new Nas and DJ Premier Light Years album. So be sure to stop by there, check it out, especially if you're a hip hop fan. I got content for days, and again, continuing in the new year, I'm going to be putting additional time into that page as well. And regarding pro wrestling, depending on what's happening, I'll do videos on the business. But otherwise, if it's not about something from back in the day, you can expect less pro wrestling videos this year. And last but not least, if there's anything else that catches my eyes and ears, I'll be talking about those things on the channel in 2026. And again, I appreciate you for your support. And with all this being said, let's get into today's video, shall we? As most of you listening to this may already be aware of, Nicki Minaj not only did an interview with Erica Kirk at the latest TP USA event, she essentially went full MAGA in the process and apparently is not looking back at all. Whatever her motives are, and it's clear they're awesome, this has not been a good look for her, and the backlash has been swift and immediate. Now, before I start the reaction, allow me to talk about Miss Minaj for a moment. I was never a big fan of hers, even though I always said she was easy on these eyes, with or without any surgeries or enhancements she may have had. I'm just keeping it real. But going back to 2009, I first heard her when I checked out the Beam Me Up Scotty mixtape. Y'all remember that? At the time, I thought it was good, and even though I played it once, I found myself anticipating what she would do next. She did have some solid appearances leading up to her debut, Pink Friday, which I also checked out. It was okay, but nothing that I would find myself revisiting ever again. And speaking of her guest appearances, let me address one, and that's Monster. Remember this joint from Kanye West, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy? A great album, I might add. It also had Jay-Z, Rick Ross, and Bon Iver on it. The song was pretty damn good at the time, and I do recall a number of people saying that Nicki's verse was not only the best verse on the song, but the dopest verse of 2010. I disagreed then, and I disagree now. And you mean to tell me that even in retrospect, there were no other verses from that year that weren't close to what Nicki brought to the table? Don't get me wrong, it was a good verse, but in my view, she was vocally doing way too much and should never have been in any conversation for dopest verse of the year. And to all my hip hop fans out there, go back to 2010 and reflect on what came out that year and see for yourselves if there was anything that was not better than that Nicki Minaj verse for Monster. I'm just asking you to do that. And by all means, put that in the comments when you have time. Other than that, I really don't have too much to say about anything she's put out after 2010 because I was never interested. Plus, it's another one of those situations where what an artist does outside of the booth just turns me off completely. And I'm sure all of you listening to this are aware of all the controversies that she's been involved in over the last several years. And I don't even feel like discussing any of them here. Now, the one thing that I will address briefly is that in retrospect, when you look back at that little beef that she had with Lil Kim, I think history has already shown that not only was Lil Kim right, but Lil Kim was the winner of that beef. That's just me. I don't think I'm being biased here. I'm just letting you know those beefs that she had with other female artists, I think it's clear now who were better, especially on the mic. I just wanted to throw that in there real quick. But yeah, this MAGA ton of events has everyone talking, including yours truly. And that right there is the perfect segue into today's video. Shout out to Clay Kane and Reese Colbert, as usual, for their contributions. I'm sure they're going to do more exceptional work in the new year. Fair usage for the video, fair usage. And yes, parental discretion is advised because Mrs. Colbert will be going in like she always does. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and get my screen shared and we're going to go ahead and get into this reaction video, my first one for 2026. Let's get it started.
Nicki Minaj speaking at Turning Point USA. Here's another clip of her talking about Donald Trump and where we are right now. Listen to this.
I have the utmost respect and admiration for our president. He has, I don't know if he even knows this, but he's given so many people hope that there's a chance to beat the bad guys and to win and to do it with your head held high and your integrity intact. He's from Queens, New York, like me. So, but what it's shown me personally is sometimes, you know, even in the worst feeling times in your life, you think that you're never going to come back from it, but you do. And our president shows that. He's been through every single thing a person could be through publicly. Having to constantly be lied on. It's not really that funny until you are in that person's shoes that's being lied on. You'll never understand what it feels like. That person is a human being. They have a family who has to read those lies. And that's not, and it's just not fair. But this administration is full of people with heart and soul.
You know what? Before they get started, I just want to say this after listening to that nonsense. I mean, it's her opinion, but it's still nonsense. It just never ceases to amaze me that for a guy that's supposed to be so tough and so manly, they waste no time and will go to no ends to try to make Donald Trump seem like he's always the victim in something. Y'all notice that? For somebody who's so strong, he's so weak at the same time. And then you go into this other part about, I mean, it's just crazy. I even lost my train of thought right there. But the main thing that I wanted to say is that they waste no time always making him the victim for somebody that's supposed to be so strong. But I digress. Let's continue on.
Terrible. Is it crack? Is it crack?
I just don't know what the end game is. It is your worst performance yet, and you've had some pretty bad performances. You are somebody who they were criticizing you, a while back, saying that you were a bad representation for black
girls,
black
honey,
women, for black girls, right? You are the immigrant anaconda, stupid hoe rapper. That's her own lyrics. That's her. I'm not calling her a stupid hoe. That's her song. And you're up there, tap dancing till your heels bleed, maybe hoping they'll give you some buttery biscuits.
Right there. You see, where all the black conservatives at? You know, for all of the black conservatives and the people who support them who always want to talk about the Democratic plantation and all this and all that, you see they silent on this, right? So apparently when somebody is worshiping Trump like she was doing on that stage, it's okay. But you throw in any type of support for any Democratic candidate, that's you being a Democratic shield and you on a plantation. Get out of here with that BS.
I really don't know. It is shameful. And as you bring up, you're bringing up as what he's been through. There is a Trinidadian man named Chad Joseph, 26 years old, who was killed due to those boat strikes. And his family in Trinidad, where you're from, called it the perfect murder. And I get it that you can't vote. And allegedly, if I have this right, there are reports that she came here, her family came here undocumented. Where's the outrage? I don't know how true that is, but
okay, I'm going to let them continue, but I just got my thought back from what I was going to say earlier. It's always this situation where you have hip hop artists talking about their respect for the office. And usually when I hear a comment like that, the first person that comes to mind is Nelly. Now, I don't hate Nelly. I'm not a fan of his music because at the end of the day, Nelly's music was never for me, okay? I just make that clear once again. But he had this thing where after Trump was reelected, he came out with that comment, and one of the notable things that he mentioned was this is all about respect for the office, respect for the White House, which is interesting because the current occupant has literally no respect for the White House, but all of a sudden after all this time when he gets reelected out of nowhere, you have respect for the office. Whereas, did you have respect for the office previously? Did you have respect for the office when Reagan was president, when Bush 41 was president? Did you have respect for the office when Clinton was president? Did you have respect for the office when Bush 43 was president? Did you have respect for the office when Obama was president? You probably didn't. Did you have respect for the office when Trump was in the White House the first time? Did you have respect for the office when Biden was president? Y'all see where I'm going. It's interesting that they pick and choose when they want to talk about respect for the office, especially when the current occupant does not have respect for that office whatsoever.
She is not an American citizen now. See, if you were a regular black girl in Queens, you might have got snatched up by ICE. Somebody in your family might get snatched up. So this is so not worth it. This is so ridiculous and shameful. But hey, listen, this is happening too much in hip hop. It's happening too much. I don't know where it's not just Kanye West. It is Kanye. It is Ice Cube. It is Nicki Minaj. It is Snoop Dogg. It is Rick Ross. What the hell is going on with y'all?
The obvious, quick answer to that, these cats see dollar signs. And that's what it's always been about. That's what they seeing.
Where you are connecting a man who has said terrible things about black people, a man who diminishes black folks down to mugshots and gold shoes.
That right there, that's another good point. Talking about black people, and I'm paraphrasing, black people would identify with him more because of that mugshot. So on the low, you were saying that the majority of our community, we glorify criminals. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm going to keep it real here. Do some of us in our community glorify criminal behavior? Yes. But that does not mean that the entire African-American community glorifies criminal behavior. I don't. And the majority of people I know don't glorify criminal behavior.
Like the Central Park Five, they still have a defamation lawsuit again. You talk about he's from Queens, New York, like me. Do you know what he did to 5 Harlem boys from New York? And then lied on them at the debate, which is why they filed that defamation lawsuit.
Yep.
It's disgusting. Nicki is terrible. And I hope she has some kind of repercussions for this. I really do. I don't know if folks are going to stop buying her, supporting her music, supporting her. I do know the LGBT community, they don't play.
That's another good point I wanted to stop at. Clay is cooking here, and I can't wait till Reese gets started because she's going to go in as well. Just imagine alienating an entire community of people just because you want to go MAGA. And those people, they are not going to come back to you whatsoever. And considering this administration's views on that community, you played yourself.
You will get Donna summarized, if y'all know that reference. When they steamrolled her albums on the street after she allegedly said that being gay was AIDS was a plague from God. So I mean, I hope, I don't know. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, it's gross.
Straight up lying. And as you were saying before, when she wasn't even baited to talk about black women.
Yeah.
And she brought up that black women, you know, white women feeling bad about themselves, connecting it to black women. Like, what is her end game, Reese?
That was terrible. Completely terrible.
What's the end game for this foolishness?
She is, first of all, a degenerate. Let's just start there. When your moral compass puts Donald Trump, JD Vance, and all them fuckers on the right side of the issues, then you are a morally decrepit degenerate. But that was obvious. Look at the man that she married. And look at who she surrounds herself with. I don't know what is in it for her other than it's attention-seeking behavior. She has spent most of this year crashing out, attacking, tormenting, sicking her equally demented fans on Black women like Megan Thee Stallion. She talks about people's families. She was sitting up there trashing Cardi B's children.
I'm not a fan of Cardi B, but that was low. Anytime you start attacking people's children, that's low, incredibly low.
She is a fucking loser. She has severe issues. I don't even want to say mental issues because I don't think that's even fair to people who have mental issues.
Right.
To say that.
Right.
She has character issues. She's chosen. Character is what you choose to do, who you choose to be. Mental issues, okay, you can't always help that. But you choose your character. And her character's fucked up. Right. It's gross. So the idea that Donald Trump is a victim, Donald Trump, if you already brought up the exonerated five, calling for their death and standing on it over and over and over again to this motherfucking day. This man has been held civilly liable for defamation of a person that he was held civilly liable for sexually assaulting.
Hello.
That's the character. That's the nature of this person. A person who, but for being reelected for some fucked up reason in this country, was under indictment and for 90 charges, already convicted of 35, which related to his lies. Again.
Let me stop it right there. And again, Reese is cooking as always, but I wanted to mention this right here. I was going to do a separate video on this, but since I'm on this one right now, I'm going to go ahead and go into it. What also amazes me about the Donald Trump effect, because that's what I call it, is that the people that still support him and the people that supported him since his political career began in 2015, it amazes me because these people would not accept any of this behavior from anybody else. They wouldn't. All of the stuff that Trump has said and did in his life, and I'm not talking about just from a political standpoint, I'm talking about even before he got involved in the politics. These people who support him, worship him, etc., they would not accept this behavior from anyone else, especially if this person was a Democrat. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Democrat myself. Even if I wasn't, I would say that same thing. Y'all would not accept this behavior from anybody else. And I'm going to go ahead and go into a prime example. Will anybody accept any other president, a Democrat president, mind you, tearing down the East Wing of the White House like that? You wouldn't. And it just amazes me that he gets away with a lot of stuff that your average person would not get away with. What? Is it because when he does it, it's entertaining, it makes you laugh? Everything is a fucking joke? Yeah, I'm going there. Everything is a joke. But when somebody else do it, it's business, it's serious then. He can do it because it's funny. But when somebody else does it, it's a bad thing. That's real effed up if you ask me. And again, I don't understand it. Y'all will not accept that behavior from anybody else. So why is it cool when it comes to Trump?
The biggest fucking liar to ever hold the fucking White House is the person that you say people lie on him. These Epstein files ain't lying on them. Everybody lying on Donald Trump. Bitch, please. So it's disgusting to me because she, who's always been a fucked up bully. I was done with her ass when she was on American Idol with Mariah. And she was bullying Mariah. That's how long I've been off Nicki's ass. Fuck her.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was crazy at the time. She was at the table with the guests, just yelling at Mariah Carey. I remember seeing that. That was crazy, y'all.
But she's a big bully, and like most bullies, they find a way to, as they are tormenting people, as they are wreaking havoc, make themselves out to be the victim. Somehow she is a fucking victimized white man who's had to apologize for being whatever the fuck all this time. And now she feels free because she's surrounded by a bunch of unhinged, batshit detached from reality, dumb motherfuckers too. The only thing is they know that she's the bitch and they are entertained. Erica Kirk, bitch, you are a circus for her. You are a circus for all these white folks. Just like you were a circus with them wigs and shit and all the Barbie and all that bullshit, Roman's Revenge, bitch.
And the
you were a
chicken
circus
wing
thing.
necklace. Remember that? The chicken wing necklace?
Chicken wing necklace, child.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm
a chicken wing necklace. That is some insensitive, nonsensical crap, man. A chicken wing necklace. Black conservatives, what y'all got to say about that?
No, look, team wig, whatever. I'm just saying you're a clown, bitch. You're a clown ass bitch, and you're the fucking monkey dancing on stage for the white folks at Turning Point USA. And they're all fucking laughing at you. You served your purpose. Now scurry along, ho. So she should be embarrassed, but her actions for all these years have shown a person who has I'm not gonna say mental character issues.
Right.
This is who she is, and that's all that she has left to offer. And that's sad. That is sad that a person who, I don't want to say she has talent, but the bar isn't very high. Okay, in terms
I
of
think she can rap.
I mean, you know,
I think she can rap.
She, you know, it's questionable what she wrote
she
versus
Hill.
Somebody else. Well, what she wrote versus ghostwritten, whatever. I don't know.
Let me jump in since we're talking about hip hop lyrics. Okay. For anybody who says that Nicki Minaj is one of the greatest of all time, I disagree. She should not be in that conversation. My top 5 female artists of all time are MC Lyte, Raw Digger, Heather B., Lauryn Hill, and Queen Latifah. Nicki Minaj has never been in that category and she'll never be in that category. Not with those ladies. If that's your opinion, that's one thing. But when we're talking about the greatest female artists of all time, Nicki Minaj should be nowhere near that conversation at all.
But my whole point is that she could have just stuck to rapping. You know, she had I feel like it was this year or maybe it was last year. She had a sold out tour, arena tour. So, bitch, you could do other things. And you all the things that you can choose to do, you choose to be trafficking in anti-Black rhetoric. You choose to be transphobic. You choose to be homophobic. You choose to be fake Christian. And you choose to align yourself with people who are so depraved that a once prestigious news institution had to be taken over by a sycophant fucking idiot to block factual reporting on their depravity.
CBS, yep, she talking about y'all, and she's right.
That's who you're with. So fuck her forever. It's been fuck her for me, but you cannot, and I'm saying this more and more these days, you cannot gaslight people to ignore reality. You know, yes, you can play on people's racism and all that kind of shit, but the reality that we're all experiencing, you can't gaslight people away from that shit.
Let me just say this to Nicki Minaj. I interviewed her once, by the way, many years ago backstage at the Roseland. Yeah, she was doing a show with the Roots.
Oh,
They were
okay.
doing a joint show together many years ago. Nicki Minaj, Turning Point USA and that audience, that crowd, they don't love your artistry. They don't love your rapping skills. They don't love your lyrics. You're just useful to them. You're disposable to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you are. And we've all seen how the story ends. When they get tired of you, when they dismiss you, I doubt Erica Kirk can name one Nicki Minaj song outside of Starships, if that. I doubt nobody in that audience supports your music the way people outside of that audience supports you.
Yeah.
You are a symbol. You are disposable. They don't care. And you have sold your soul because for whatever reason, you believe you're going to get some kind of access or proximity or whatever. You will be the Stacey Dash of hip hop, Nicki Minaj. They're going to Stacey Dash you, and you'll deserve it because you're clueless. You deserve it.
Yeah.
See, this has been tried many, and also you ain't a man. And we see how they try conservative, quote unquote, black women.
Yeah.
Look at Omarosa. Look at Stacey Dash.
Oh man, Omarosa, that's a good one right there. Y'all remember back in, I think it was 2016, she did an interview with someone. I can't remember who she did it with or which show she was on, when she was just real arrogant talking about everyone is going to have to bow to Donald Trump. Y'all remember that? And within several months after after him being in office for like the first few months of his first administration, she was ousted. Y'all remember that? So much for us bowing down to Donald Trump, huh?
Look at Candace Owens' attempted rebrand.
Mm-hmm.
You're ruining a career that has stats and data and history for this.
Mm-hmm.
When they were insulting you previously, when you are seen as the bad example, not just because Charlie Kirk said it, I bet if you dig through the archives of Fox News, I bet you they've referenced Nicki Minaj before.
And here's another thing, y'all. You see, the Republicans and everybody on that side can insult somebody like Nicki Minaj, and either it'll be ignored or it'll be laughed off like it's a joke. But if it's a Democrat, that's when it's taken seriously, and that's when you want to have outrage, and then you want to say, well, I'm done with the Democrats and all this and all that. Y'all see how this stuff happens? It's like the Republicans can be absolved for a whole lot of shit, but the Democrats will catch fire if they do it. One side is expected to gaslight, the other side is expecting to govern and do way more stuff.
Why does she look like that? The bad influence on our children. But you're useful to them.
Yeah.
They don't care about your artistry or you or your so-called Christianity. They don't care about any of that. They found their black person to tap dance for the buttery biscuits. They found it. You were the one. J.D. Vance mentions you in his speech. They found somebody. It's always one.
Yeah.
I wrote about it in my book, The Grift.
New York Times bestseller, The Grift.
So exactly. So you managed to change who you are. We've seen this, but this has happened to so many people. And because you don't know your history, this is how the story's going to end. And I give Nicki maybe 2-3 years max.
Oh,
she's going to come back.
Oh.
No, I'm saying come back. Beg.
You think
Let
so?
me back into I was going through something. I was this, I was that. Because this is exactly how it ends.
I'd say 1 to 2 years max.
Now, I just hope that our community, they won't get forgetful.
Oh, hell no, bitch. This is it for you. But can I just say, this is how dumb this bitch is, because you are headlining on the Titanic.
Right.
When you see, like, if you were really tapped into politics, when you see Marjorie Taylor Greene's funky ass head for the exits, Nancy Mace's funky ass heads for the exits, Elise Stefanik head for the exits, all of these Republicans heading for the fucking exits in 2026.
Lauren Boebert might be next, y'all. Stay tuned to that one. She might be next on this list.
And you say, I'm going to head towards the direction that these motherfuckers are fleeing. That's dumb.
You can't tell people nothing.
Black people usually got more sense than that. If we see motherfuckers running, we running, oh shit, let me, I don't know what's going on, bitch, but I'll make sure I get the fuck out of that. You're running towards what people are running away from. You have administration officials so scared of what their policies are doing that they're living in military housing. These are not military people. If you look and pay attention to what is happening in this country, in this fucking world, the last thing you would want to do is be a fucking December 2025 new fan of goddamn Donald Trump. You don't see nobody waking up being MAGA in fucking November, December, bitch. The time for that, Amber Rose already did that shtick last year.
Oh, her too. What happened to her? Is she done with it now?
Her forehead tattoo popped up just to say, oh, Nicki, da-da-da-da. Bitch, you can go back to hell too and go into that hole you done crawled out of. But my whole point is, how stupid do you have to be jumping onto some shit that everybody is running away from? They dismissed, they recessed the House early because these Epstein files was coming out. This is why people should not dabble in shit that they're not versed in.
That's right.
Exactly.
This is not a growing coalition. It's shrinking. And the only reason they might be able to hold something together for a couple more years is literally cheating, disenfranchising people. So you got to be the dumbest bitch in the motherfucking planet to see everybody else and your advisors, clearly they don't see shit. Everybody is running for the fucking hills and you running towards the goddamn fire and the flame. But the difference is you Black. So you gonna get burned. And all these white motherfuckers that done ran for the hexes, they're gonna be on The View, rebranding themselves about how they ex-Trump and I apologize for my role in the toxicity bullshit.
Look at Jeff Duncan
yes.
in Georgia, now running as a Democrat. Look at George Conway. He's now running. You ain't gonna get that baby.
No, you're not gonna get that. You're not gonna get it. So congratulations. You played yourself. And I, for one, as fucked up as you've been to so many people for all these years, I actually love this for you. I love this for you because now it's not, a debate about what this woman did and this woman twerks and so fuck her and did it. Now, none of that, all that shit, we're removing all of that shit, how y'all don't care about her bullying Black women. We're removing all that shit and it's making it very, very plain. But you being the headlining act on the Titanic just shows the depths of your stupidity and how far out of your league you are and how useful of an idiot your dumb ass is.
Word up. And with all that being said, that's the video right there. Shout out to Clay Kane and Reese Colbert once again. I agree with everything that they said. And the only other thing that I'm going to say here to close the video regarding Nicki Minaj, and other people are saying this as well, I hope it was worth it, because if it's worth throwing your career away, whatever career was left at this point, if it's worth alienating an entire group of people, if it's worth doing all of that, hey, be my guest. And apparently she has an album that's supposed to be coming out soon, I think. Y'all can correct me on that if I'm wrong. But that album is not going to do well. So if it flops, a lot of people are going to be talking about that. So at the end of the day, I hope it was worth it. But again, you can't tell people nothing. And just remember, if you did all this and you end up in a worse spot than where you began, congratulations, you played yourself. And on that note, we're coming to the end of the video, y'all. If you like what you heard and you're ready to become part of Team Discipline, go ahead and hit that like button and drop some comments if you're feeling the content. Definitely let me know your thoughts on this. And last but not least, hit that subscribe button along with the bell so you're notified when I drop new videos. And until next time, my people, take care of yourselves. Have a great 2026. And remember, the power of the mind is valuable.